Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami iti namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine. Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pachacha Deshatarine. Vandenanda Brajastrinam Padarenum Nabhishinasha Yasam Harigato Gitam Pnati Puvanatrayam Sri Kopi Charanara Vinda Pramanave Namaha Pitambaram Kara Virajita Chakrashangam Komodhaki Sarasijam Karuna Samudram Radha Sahayamiti Sundara Mandahasam Pataleyas Manisham Hridi Bhavayami Komalam Kujayam Venum Shamaloyam Kumaraka Veda Vedya Parambrahma Pasatam Prato Mama Bukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Kirim Yakripa Tamaham Bande Paramananda Madhavam Salvatra Govinda Nama Sankirtanam Govinda Govinda Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So shall we start with
summary? No, for yeah. Is it with the summary, Mahaprabhu? Sorry, Patanjali Muni Prabhu. Yeah. Okay. So Vijayalakshmi is going to try to log in right now because I think she was struggling. So can we?
The demon story.
Can we do the Harsharani Didi to do the right now the demon story? Yeah. Please.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah.
Yeah. Please.
Hare Krishna, I ask for from all the Vaishnavas first, and I also ask for forgiveness if I may misinterpret any of this story or the summary of Dinapurata. Can I share a screen? Just a picture of Dinavata?
Yeah. Yes, you should be able to do that. Yeah, that's fine, Mataji. Let me see what you can't do the sharing screen because
okay,
can you just read it? Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah, we will hear you very well.
Yeah, yes, no problem. I'll read now. Right, okay.
Thank you, Mataji.
The killing of demon Trinavata. This pastime had occurred in Gokul Vrindavan after Lord Krishna was 1 year old, according to Srila Prabhupada in the Krishna book. Kamsa had ordered the demon Trinavata to go to Gokul Vrindavan on a mission to kill Lord Krishna. Since Kamsa knew that Krishna would kill him, so better he arranged for Krishna to be killed so that his life would be saved. One day, little baby Krishna was lying on the ground. Mother Yashoda had put him there since she was unable to carry him on her lap due to finding him to be very heavy. Whilst Mother Yashoda was busy dealing with household chores, suddenly the atmosphere became very dark and very windy. Suddenly, a very powerful whirlwind appeared and picked up the Lord, who was lying on the ground, and it very quickly twirled up into the sky like a fierce tornado, taking the Lord with him. That whirlwind was the demon Trinavata, who took up his form in order to kill Krishna. He intended to rise very high in the sky and then drop Krishna from there, so he would die. Mother Yashoda noticed that the atmosphere had changed. She was getting very concerned for the welfare of Lord Krishna. Due to the darkness and the grains of sand being tossed in the air from the gasoline wind that made her visibility poor, she and the gopis and the gopas tried frantically looking for her beloved Krishna, but could not find him anywhere. She became very perturbed and fell to the ground in pain due to the separation from the Lord. She was calling out his name whilst crying uncontrollably. She knew something was not right and felt that Krishna was in great danger. She helplessly could not do anything. It was all out of her control. Meanwhile, Trinavata was struggling to rise higher into the sky since the Lord was becoming increasingly heavier. He was slowing down and became exhausted due to the excessive weight of baby Krishna. Lord Krishna knew that this demon's intention was. Therefore, the Lord grabbed Trinavata's neck. Trinavata could not let go of the Lord, who grabbed his neck tightly due to the excessive weight, and it was becoming very difficult for Trinavata to continue rising up into the sky. Due to the pain of the neck, and also due to the intensity of the pain around his neck, which was very tightly grabbed by the little hands of the Lord. As a result, Trinavata was unable to breathe and started to choke. Suddenly, Trinavata gave a tumultuous cry of severe pain. He had lost all of his strength, he could no longer carry on, he hurled down from the sky in great speed onto the ground, where he crashed, hitting the slab of stone. All his limbs were broken. Then his true form appeared as a demon. Lord Krishna, who was still with him, was then peacefully sat on top of the dead demon, who was lying there on the ground with his eyes bulging out of his sockets. All the villagers and Mother Yashoda were relieved to see that baby Krishna, who was merrily sat on the body of Trinavata. They examined the Lord's body to ensure that he was not hurting anywhere and that he was not in any pain. According to Bhaktivinoda Thakur from Sri Chaitanya Shikshamrita, he says that Krishna's activities are of two types, the Nitya and the Nimitika. Nitya is the daily and Nimitika is the occasional one. This pastime refers to the second one, Nimitika Lila, which is the occasional Lila. The world will
Sorry, Harsarani Didi, 1 second, sorry to interrupt you. But I think there is a lot of interruptions coming up from that side, from the sound. Maybe you want to put the earplug so we can hear you clearly?
Yeah, hold on a second. I can't put the earplug on because I don't have that facility in place on this.
Okay, all right, yeah. There's some noise.
I'll speak louder. I'll speak louder.
Yeah, okay. That's fine. Sorry to interrupt you, sorry. Yeah, Haribo.
That's okay. Can I continue or do you want me to start from
Yeah. No, please continue, Haribo.
Okay. The world-will demon, Trinavata, represents the vanity of false learning, the consequent use of faulty arguments of dry logic, the quest for mukti and association with such falsely proud people. This includes all types of atheists believing in material casualty. Be merciful on seeing the affection of the devotees for him. Baby Krishna kills Trinavata and removes these obstacles to the devotees' worship. By remembering these pastimes, the devotees aspire to destroy their own sinful conduct. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Harsharani Didi. It was wonderful. Sorry to interrupt you. It was just
no,
a little bit, sorry. But it was wonderful. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, I apologize. We might not be able to hear, but I can't put the, unfortunately, I can't put the earphones on it because it doesn't work properly after I have major problems.
No, but I think it was amazing. The way you explained was really good one. Thank you so much for sharing lovely, wonderful pastime. Haribo. Now I'm going to hand it to Vijaya Lakshmi. Please do the summary. Haribo. Unmute yourself, Vijaya Lakshmi, please.
Okay.
Haribo,
Hare Krishna. I'm so sorry I've been late. Forgive me for not coming early. I'm going to say the summary of last time's class. To begin with, this class is about our perceptions to life and people and circumstances, and about what Srimad Bhagvatam has to offer us and the way to get Krishna's love. I forgot to tell you something. Please forgive me if I make any mistakes. I may make, I don't know. So I should have said that earlier, of course. I'll just start again. This class is about our perceptions to life and people and circumstances, and about what Srimad Bhagvatam has to offer us and the way to get Krishna's love. Another quality of Krishna is that though he is present in his abode eternally, he is all pervading and everything is situated within him. He pervades like the sun rays of the sun. His abode eternally is situated within. No. I'm sorry. I just got the news my classmate died, so, I'm a little. Please.
Oh, sorry about that. So would you be able to say, or would you be able to
Yeah, I'll do it. Another quality of Krishna is that though he is present in his abode eternally, he is all pervading and everything is situated within him. He pervades like the sun rays of the sun. This transcendental abode is free from the illusionary representations of the material world and above the three modes of nature, sattva, rajasic and tamasic. And therefore the only way the supreme personality of Godhead is attainable is unalloyed devotion. Why are we advised to read this Srimad Bhagavatam? Because we are under the influence of the three modes of nature, we exhibit anger, lust, greed, hankering after money, honor, prestige, and material success. We think that money and material success will give us true happiness. Anger, lust, and greed make us unsteady in the mind and therefore miserable. Material happiness is temporary. We are always fluctuating between misery and material happiness. Our mind is never steady. We are always on a roller coaster ride, sometimes happy, sometimes miserable. We live in bondage. This is where Srimad Bhagvatam comes to our rescue. It offers a different perception to life. It offers the truth, Satyam, instead of illusions. It offers us true eternal happiness. Srimad Bhagavatam helps us to respond rather than to react to situations of tribulation, disturbance, or material success. Initially, it will blunt our reactions of anger and envy, and as we advance, it will remove them completely. It will teach us self control through the practice of the four regulative principles. There will also be no duality of the mind. Your mind will not be disturbed by either bad situations or material happiness. The mind will become steady, free of fear and anger. As a result, we achieve true lasting peace, happiness, deep contentment internally. And finally, from the Bhaja Govindam 20, if a man reads even a little bit of Bhagavad Gita, drinks even just a drop of water from the Ganges, and worships Krishna only once, he will have no problem with Yamaraj, because Krishna will take care of him. Now, this is all these difficulties are because of our different perceptions of life. An example of different perceptions is the reactions of Sugriva and the other monkeys and Lord Ram when Vibhushana, the youngest brother of Ravana, changes camp and wants to join Lord Ram's side. The different perception and also the different perceptions to Sita's capture by Ravana and his perception to this, and also the perception of Vibhushana to this capture. But what should be our perception? We should meditate on the truth, Satyam. What is the highest truth? We are parts and parcel of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and are therefore eternal servants of Krishna. We have to follow Krishna's instructions. Whatever is happening in our life is a dream, an illusion. It is not reality. This dream we are in is due to the thoughts and desires that are fed into our subconscious and conscious, and what manifests as a result. Reality is our true identity and our real duty as humans. Expressions of our consciousness is not our true identity. We need to change this perception of living in a dream to living in reality. When we do this, we are better equipped to deal with tribulations of life. We should ask ourselves, what should Krishna want me to do in this situation? And when we follow Krishna's instructions, we will feel peace and true happiness. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Vijayalakshmi. Very, very wonderful. Really good summary. I'm sorry to hear about your classmate is may Krishna give her soul peace.
Thank you.
Rest in his lotus place.
Thank you.
Yeah, we all hand to now Patanjali Muni Prabhu. It's all over to you. Thank you very much for coming in again, giving class again every Tuesday on a regular basis and enlightening our soul. Thank you so much, Patanjali Muni, on behalf of all the class. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you. So before we start, let us pay our respect to the departed soul. So that just a few moments, let us close our eyes and then we pray to Krishna for the departed soul's onward journey. Hare Krishna. And the first of all, I'd like to thank the wonderful story of Trinavarta. So we all know that Krishna was 5,000 years ago in Vrindavan and then Goloka. But at the same time, we know that Krishna is right here with us. Yes, everyone agrees?
Yes.
Okay. So then, when Krishna is here, then our demons are here too. Do you agree? So now please unmute all of you.
Yes, Yes, we do agree.
Yeah.
Then
Yes.
Yes.
we know that through the description of Trinavatarta, we describe the description of cat demon. We know the Putana. But what form of demon we have right now with us? Tell us. What?
Lust, anger, greed.
No,
Lust,
physical.
anger, greed.
I don't want to have a philosophical. So Trinavatarta is a wind demon. We can see, we can perceive. So lust, anger, greed is our demon, yes, our enemy. But I want you to recognize something more substantial rather than abstract.
It's about the food, what the people eat, what people eat every day, today's life, how they egg. About the meat eating and all these things can
The
take to the
meat
negative.
is our demon?
No.
No, not really, no.
Is it Kali?
Something specific.
Kali is the demon. Kali.
Kali, no, Kali, can we see Kali?
No.
But we know she's there, or he's there. And he's tempting.
Think about something specific.
Trinivarta is the mind.
Is it desire?
Is it the mind, like the wind?
Because during the now we class, because devotee always read the Bhagavata, so that we are in a way to think that very philosophical, abstract. But I want you to think of something more practical.
If I may.
Is it satisfying our sense? Is it satisfying our sense gratifications?
Is that demon?
No.
Can we not gratify our senses? Because of then we are referring to ourselves as demon because we are gratifying our senses.
It's our mind and
Can you just raise the hand?
Okay,
can
so
you please
yes.
raise the hands, yeah, instead of speaking all together? Raise the hand.
Let me ask Prana. So you want to say something, Prana? What is what takes form of demon? Yeah.
Yes, we don't have to look far. We have to look in the mirror. We have to look around, because if you check Bhagavad Gita, saintly and demoniac qualities, we can know exactly who demons are. Hopefully, we are becoming less and less demoniac, but at least me, I still have a lot of shortcomings, and maybe not all of us are perfect, but especially karmis, we don't have to have horns and tails. We just have to look by qualities. We have to look by Bhagavad Gita's definition, what is demoniac. And that's how we can define who is very specifically, very practically, who is demoniac and who is not. Thank you.
Thank you. But let me say something. So let me give you an example then. So for you to easy to recognize my question. Still, I think my question is not referring to convey to you properly. So let's say, I think in modern days, demon takes form of TV.
Yeah.
So why? Because TV in general take us away from Krishna. As Trinavarta, like a form of wind, he took Krishna away. So Krishna, very interesting way, Krishna strangled the Trinavarta's neck so that Krishna basically killed this demon. So we all think in a way that too much philosophical, too much of what they call, in a way, the Shastric way, that sometimes we don't really relate to ourselves in day-to-day life. So we'll say, yeah, lust, anger, greed, but who doesn't have it? So that if we don't properly recognize the presence demon, then how can we deal with it? So this is one example. So similar way, I want you to recognize what really takes away from us Krishna. What really, so recognize something specific so that you can deal with it in a way that favorable to develop our Krishna consciousness. Okay, Premila Mataji. I think you need to unmute yourself.
Sorry, is it time?
Time, the same time can be utilized for Krishna. So we cannot say time is a demon. Why makes you think time is a demon? Can you explain a bit further?
Well, it's just that, you know, we seem to sometimes get carried away with doing so many household things, work, family life, and so that we don't give the priority that we should to, you know, Krishna.
I want you to recognize, you maybe think about it. After this class, there's something specific which I mentioned, like a TV.
Okay.
If I give you another example, that, for example, Rupa, do you want to say something?
I think smartphones, WhatsApp.
Yes, smartphone and WhatsApp. Although through the form of smartphone, we have better communication. Sometimes we have to be honest ourselves that we get carried away by smartphone, isn't it? Smartphone makes us smart. Is it true? No, it goes the other way. It seems like when we have smartphone, we feel ourselves we are getting more smart, but actually no. So now everything is stored in the smartphone, not in here. So our capacity of memory is going down and down. Scientifically, one of historians, he did research. 200 years ago, the power of memory of people far greater than people now. This is a scientific fact, historical fact. So we think by having a smartphone, smart TV, smart car, or smart house, so we feel that we are getting smarter and smarter. But now they had organizing that now they have a smart city. But actually, let us ask ourselves, is this smart? Are we getting smarter, really?
No.
In the same way, maybe this is a homework for you. So individually, you recognize something specific. What is it really breaking our relationship with Krishna? So that we got an example of smartphone, we got the example of WhatsApp, we got the example of TV. So there's something specific. Please you recognize it in your life, then you can share with us. Then now next time when we discuss, then yes, this takes away my time from Krishna, so that we know how to deal with it, and also we can regulate in such a way that we can better ourselves. So is that clear?
Yes, I think everyone understood that. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Let's do that. Yeah. So that the reason I'm saying is that if Krishna is here, then demon is also here too. So those demons is here, not to disturb us. It gives us a wake-up call that if you're not careful, you'll be away from Krishna. So in this way, I'm giving you homework. So now let's move forward. Today's class. Again, we are doing this long discussion in order to understand Satyam Param Dhimahi. Just the one last line of first canto, of first chapter, of first verse. So if we understand Satyam Param Dhimahi, then basically this opens the door for understanding of Srimad Bhagavatam. So then we have to understand what is Satyam. Satyam means truth. Then what is truth? So then we have to understand that what is the opposite of truth, either dream or illusion. So today we explore a bit more about the state of a dream we are in, and then how we understand ourselves where we are in. So let me share the screen for today. So last week we discussed what happens in the dream. So in the dream, we create the world according to our impression and according to our desire, according to our consciousness. So ayam hi jivastri vrit abja yunil avyakta eko vayasasa adyaha Vislita Shaktir Bahudeva Bhati Bijaniyonim Pratipatya Yadvat. So, Avyakta. Initially, before let's talk about dream first. In the dream state, when you enter into sleep, initially Avyakta was nothing manifested. Only we are sleeping state, we are existing. But due to our many experience, so that this is like an agricultural field, when you put the seed, then the seed sprouts. So in this way, there are many manifestations. So in this way, dream is manifestation of our consciousness, our impression. So exactly the same way we create our own dream. In the same way, this entire material world, this manifestation is similarly created by Krishna. So in one sense, we are in Krishna's dream. So please read translation here.
Yeah, Palita Mataji, please, can you unmute yourself?
Hare Krishna.
Hare.
When many seeds are placed in an agricultural field, innumerable manifestation of trees, bushes, vegetables, and so on will arise from a single source, the soil. Similarly, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who gives life to all and is eternal, originally exists beyond the scope of the cosmic manifestation. In the course of time, however, the Lord, who is the resting place of the three modes of nature and the source of the universal lotus flower, in which the cosmic manifestation takes place, divides his material potencies and thus appears to be manifest in innumerable forms, although he is one. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you. Here, very interesting, the source of universal lotus flower, in which the cosmic manifestation takes place. So we have many universes. Within this universe, there are many galaxies, many solar systems, but all this is within the lotus flower. So we are within the Krishna's creation. Although we create our own dream, interesting part is that we don't have a control over our dream. So when you are in dream, do you really control the situation? Or you just follow the situation? So we follow the situation. So very interesting, yesterday I had a very interesting dream. I have seen my own funeral. So what happened was, they were putting me in the, what they call the casket, the coffin, but my arm was sticking out. So they were putting hard efforts to put my arm inside the coffin. I don't know why I had that dream. So in the dream, we don't have a control over it. In this way, the same way, when we are born into this material world, ultimately, we have a very little control. Because number one, we are forced to take a birth in this material world. And also, why we don't have much control in our dream is that the impression which reside in our subconsciousness, this sprouts. So that during the day, during your lifetime, what impression you putting in, that will come out. So there is no choice to it. So for example, in the dream, when we make a journey from London to Delhi in India, so we buy the ticket. So in the dream, because it's a dream, you can buy any ticket. You can buy a first class ticket, you can buy business ticket. You can avoid the business class. No, I mean the economic class, at least because in your dream. But we can't do that. So this is the situation we are in. So most of us, we think the way we think. Why? Because in the previous life of our previous early years of education, we are trained to think in a certain way. But now, what we are trying to do, in order to understand the Satyam Param Dhimai, we are trying to break whatever we learned through our education, whatever we imbibed from our previous experience and then vasana, so that which is not related to Krishna, we break them. And then we remold again. So that you can break a building, we make another building of understanding spiritual life. So the fact that we took a birth in the material world, this means there was certain action that forced us to take a birth. So now we know that there is a certain reason that we took a birth in this material world. So ultimately, unfortunately, we don't know the reason. But one thing we know is that how to get out. So we don't know the start of our ignorance, but we know how to end this ignorance. We don't know how the darkness started. We don't know, but we know how to end this darkness, no matter how long it has been. So darkness has two aspects. One aspect is it can be long time. It has been dark for many years, even many yugas. Number one. Number two, darkness also has a different density. Sometimes very dark, you can't see even your hand in front of your eyes. But sometimes the darkness is slightly blurry, so you can recognize a slightly different object, the different degree of darkness. This characteristics, two characteristic darkness has, but this will all disappear when light comes. No matter how long it has been, it doesn't question. Light doesn't question. And also, no matter how dark it is, light doesn't question. As soon as the light comes, darkness disappears. So that's why here, Palal Maharaj is saying here, anyone who has been forced into ignorance to enter this material world may be purified. How? By the glory of Krishna, by the glorifying, and by hearing, by offering prayers. Okay, please read this translation.
The next one is Bhavini Mataji, Hare
Krishna. Therefore, although I was born in a demoniac family, I may, without a doubt, offer prayers to the Lord with full endeavor, as far as my intelligence allows. Anyone who has been forced by ignorance to enter the material world may be purified of material life if he offers his prayers to the Lord and hears the Lord's glories.
Thank you.
Thank you. The process of offering prayers and the process of hearing these all the glories is a process of inviting this light. So when we bring this light, then darkness disappears. So darkness means illusion. Darkness means dream. Light means the truth. And then in order to perceive the truth, actually is not easy. Why? Because we are accustomed to think in a certain way. We are so used to this illusion, so that illusion we think as truth. So now that's why we trying to, again, in order to understand Satyam Param Dhimahi, we will give a practical example of change of perception. So that let us have different perception. So then what does it mean by different perception? So in the day-to-day life, I'll give some example. So it happens in Korea, one of my friends, he's a musician. So that during the preaching in Korea, I was invited to yoga centers. So that in Korea, in order to be yoga teacher, they have to take two tests. One is a theory test, one is a physical test. So physical test is that they have to perform yoga asana, pranayam, and a different, what do you call, the cleaning system, kriyas. But theory test, they have to have certain mark of understanding of the yoga philosophy. They have to understand of Bhagavata. So luckily, they invited me to speak on Bhagavata, just to get all the yoga students to get the certificate of yoga teacher. So one of the students was a musician, and then somehow he had a certain trouble in his life. So he sold all his music instrument. He was actually guitarist. And then in order to find some new meaning in life, he went to India and then he came back. And then he continued the practice of yoga. So one day I met him and then I asked him, so how are you? And then we're having a meal together. And then it wasn't that bad, but I feel today I feel very, very good. So how come you're very good today, feel very good today? So because due to certain incident that happened in Korea, so that all the, what do you call, the function was canceled. So because he's a musician, his only way of living is that when he go to certain function, he play guitar, and then he get the income out of it. So because of this incident happened, so all the function canceled. So last 7 days, I did a fasting voluntarily, which means because he didn't have enough income to buy his meal. So basically he was starving. So, but he took this as an opportunity to do fasting, because he said very interesting, in Korea, we call it fasting center. So in fasting center, they pay the money and then they go there. And then, for example, those who want to lose weight or those who has a specific disease, so that they encourage to do fasting for 7 days, some people for 15 days, some people for 1 month. So during this fasting period, they look after their health, so that how to wake up, how to exercise, so not to get too much exhausted. So they're monitoring. So I went to 1 year fasting program without paying any money. So voluntarily I fasted. So in this way he answered. So, and then he said, today, because you invited me for meal, so that my fasting is finished. So now I'm having a feast. So I'm very happy today. So in this way, for him, as soon as I heard this statement from my friend, I remember this verse. Uttaret atmana atmanam na atmanam avasadayet. Atmae eva hi atmano pandil atmaeva ripul atmanaha. Krishna said, Arjuna, under any circumstances, na atma avasadayet, don't let yourself down. No matter what situation you are in, don't blame yourself. Uttaret atmana atman, always raise yourself by your mind. Why? Atmaiva hi atmana bandho. Your mind is your best friend. Atmaiva ripul atmana. Your mind is your worst enemy. So this friend, although he was forced to, in a situation where he couldn't get much things to eat, but he took this as another opportunity. Please read this translation.
Hare Krishna. One must deliver himself with the help of his mind and not degrade himself. Mind is the friend of the conditioned soul and his enemy as well. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So in this way, tolerating anger is one level. But to see the to see the situation where you kind of, it arouses your anger is another light. That is a different level of consciousness. So most of us, we trying to tolerate. But now, by changing of a perception, that tolerating situation, you're trying to see another light to develop your sadhana, or develop your more time for reading, or develop for your connection with Krishna. So now, this is our day-to-day life experience. But now, we want to see how Krishna is showing us to change the perception. So here is a very, very comic description here. And this Bhishmadev saying in first canto, here it says, maybe let us read this translation first, and then I'll explain. Yeah.
Madhu Prabhu, please unmute. I go. Ravita, can you ask Madhu Prabhu to read? I go.
On the battlefield, when Sri Krishna attended Arjuna out of friendship, the flowing hair of Lord Krishna turned ashen due to the dust raised by the hoofs of the horses. And because of his labor, beads of sweat wetted his face. All these decorations, intensified by the wounds dealt by my sharp arrows, were enjoyed by him. Let my mind thus go on to Sri Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
So this is a very unique description of the battlefield in Kurukshetra. So there, according to this description, you can see how battle was fierce. So the Krishna, or the hair, was scattered. And also so much dust is coming from the battle. And then here, very interestingly, Bhishmadev saw Krishna's wound by his sharp arrow. So when Krishna, Bhishmadev shot arrow, some arrow actually scratched the Krishna's skin, and then there's blood, very red blood coming out. So Bhishmadev said, this is Alankritasya. This is a beautiful decoration. It must cause the pain to Krishna, but Bhishmadev was saying that, oh, this is a beautiful decoration. This is another beauty of Krishna. So Bhishmadev says that the wound which causes bleeding as another decoration, along with sweat and then dust and scattered hair. But you know how Krishna saw that wound. So now, Prabhupada in the purport, Prabhupada quote Bhishmabharat Chakraparti Thakur's commentary. So please read this one.
Meena Kavya, please. Haribo. Hare Krishna, Meena Ben.
Maybe, please unmute.
She's going to unmute herself. Yeah, I think she did. Yeah, she unmuted herself. Please, can you read that? Haribo. We can't hear you, Meena Ben. We can't hear you. Okay. Okay, in that case, Pravita, can you read this, Pravita, for now? Oh, sorry, we can do this. Meena Kavya, we can hear you. We can hear you, Meena Kavya, sorry.
Okay.
Okay, Pravita, unmute yourself, please, sorry. Yeah, can you do Meena Kavya?
Can you hear me though?
Yeah, now we can.
Yeah? Okay. Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, a great acharya and devotee in the humor of conjugal love with the Lord, remarks very saliently in this regard. He says that the wounds created on the body of the Lord by the sharpened arrows of Bhishmadev were as pleasing to the Lord as the biting of a fiancé who bites the Lord's body, directed by a strong sense of sex desire. Such biting by the opposite sex is never taken as a sign of enmity, even if there is a wound on the body. Therefore, the fighting as an exchange of transcendental pleasure between the Lord and his pure devotee Sri Bhishmadeva was not at all mundane. Besides that, since the Lord's body and the Lord are identical, there was no possibility of wounds in the absolute body. The apparent wounds caused by the sharpened arrows are misleading to the common man. But one who has little absolute knowledge can understand the transcendental exchange in the chivalrous relation. The Lord was perfectly happy with the wounds caused by the sharpened arrows of Bhishmadev. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
This way, the pain and wound which is caused by Krishna devotee Bhishma, Krishna took it as love bite. This is how much Krishna loves devotee. So in the similar way, that when we experience certain pain in life, then how we have to think? Now I think you got the answer. So now you may think as Krishna's love bite, maybe. So again, and there is a very interesting story that before Mahabharata war, as you know, Krishna says that I will not pick up weapon. And then as soon as Bhishma heard that I'll make sure Krishna will pick up weapon. So they had a bet. So let's see who's going to win. Is Krishna going to win or Bhishma going to win? So on this bet, so there is description in Bhagavatam. Shipram bhavati dharmatma shasvat shantim nigachati konteya prati janihi name bhakta puranashati. So that when Arjuna was in danger due to Bhishmadev's arrow, and practically Arjuna's chariot was broken down, and then Krishna couldn't take anymore. So this is too much. So now it's time for me to break my bow and then pick up the wheel, and then he was running toward Bhishmadev. At that time, Bhishmadev saw Krishna as death personification. But then Bhishmadev was welcoming. He put arrow down, his bow down, and then please come, like as if he's waiting for that. So number one is that, are we ready to do that? When Krishna comes to us in the form of death, are we willing to embrace? That's number one. Number two is that here, more interesting thing is that when Krishna was running toward Bhishmadev, and then Arjuna was grabbing Krishna's leg, please don't go. So if you break your vow, then how will follow your word, other people? So you are Supreme Lord. If you break your own word, then who will follow your word? So Krishna saying that, never mind. Even if I break my own vow, I will protect my devotee. So I'm willing to break my vow so that you declare vow on behalf of me. What is that? Konteya purati janihi. You declare boldly, name bhakta puranashati, so that my devotee will never perish. So ultimately, it looks like Bhishmadev won the bet. But if you look at further, Krishna broke his own vow. Why? To break his, to protect his devotee. Then, in spiritual sense, then who won this bet? Let us read the translation. Next translation.
What is Pravita? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. He quickly becomes righteous and attains lasting peace. O son of Kunti, declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes.
Thank you.
Thank you. So in this way, once we become quickly devotee of Krishna, then naturally we become righteous and also we'll attain the lasting peace. Why? Because we found ultimate shelter. So in this way, we have a different perception. So now, in order to right perception, I'll give you another example. So that this is a description of Vaikuntha. I explained this verse another class, that in general, when we read the description of Vaikuntha, normally we have a desire to go there. Why? Because it looks so nice. So could you read this translation, please, Vaikuntha?
Uma Haribo. Please unmute yourself, Uma. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
In the Vaikuntha planets, the inhabitants fly in their airplanes, accompanied by their wives and consorts, and eternally sing of the character and activities of the Lord, which are always devoid of all inauspicious qualities. While singing the glories of the Lord, they deride even the presence of the blossoming Madhvi flowers, which are fragrant and laden with honey. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharibo.
So it's so nice, isn't it? In Vaikuntha, they have their own airplanes. So here, only super rich people, they have their own private jets. But Vaikuntha planet, every inhabitant, they have their own plane. And then through the journey, they sing and glorify the Krishna's pastimes, etc. So when we see this kind of a description in spiritual world, naturally we have a inclination to go there. Why? Because it is so nice. And also it seems that it's different from where we are now. But Krishna teaching is not like that. So when Arjuna asked to Krishna that Arjuna uvacha siddha pragya kavasha samadhi stasha keshava stidadi kim parabhaseta kimasita brajeta kim. So when the true devotee, or when we become true devotee, when we realize who really Krishna is, it's called siddha pragya, how they speak, and also how they sit, and how they walk around. So Arjuna wants to know the symptoms of a devotee. But Krishna says, very interestingly, that he doesn't say about how they speak, how they walk, how they sit. He doesn't say anything about it. He said, Prajahati yada kaman salvam parta manogatam. Atmani eva atmana tushta stita pragyasta dochate. He's saying entirely differently. Those who are true devotee, they give up all the karma, salvan karma, kaman salvan, which means salvan karma, all desire they give up. Why? Because desire means manogatam, the action of the mind. So they are atmani eva atman tushta. True devotee, they never desire anything. Why? Because they are happy within themselves. So in this way, the perception we have regarding spiritual world, sometimes we have wrong conception. Because I have so much trouble in our life, my life, so many pollution in our material world. There's so many something ugly things. That's why I want to go to spiritual world, which means we go to spiritual world. Why? For our own interest, our own comfort, our own benefit. Still, we have strong conception of me, my, and I. As long as this ahankar, which is manifestation of the ignorance, as long as we have this one, then actually the chance of getting out of this material world is very less. So that's why in Bhagavata, in chapter 13, in order to change of this kind of perception, which is programmed from the young age, that because we are naturally, everyone takes interest in their own welfare. But as a human being, as we are truly trying to improve our spiritual practice, our goal should be here, adhyatma jnana nityatvam tattva jnanartha darshanam. We have to know tattva jnana, the meaning of tattva jnana, the meaning of the truth. And then whatever leading us to this tattva jnana artha darshanam, understanding of this tattva jnana, etat jnanam, this is jnanam, and then iti proktam ajnanam yatot yadato anyata. Whatever anything else apart from this is all again, all ignorance. So then, what is Jnanam starts? Jnanam starts with amanitvam, adambitvam, manitvam. So conception of mind, conception of me, conception of I is called manitvam. This amanitvam has to go. So this is understanding of satyam. This is understanding of illusion. So while we are thinking of my interest, we think as well as the spiritual practice. These two doesn't go. We, as long as we want to go back to Krishna, in order to benefit us, then this is what they call, while holding the tree, and we are saying to tree, let me go, let me go, let me go. Please read this translation.
Chetna, Haribo.
Hare Krishna. Humility, pridelessness, non-violence, tolerance, simplicity, approaching a bona fide spiritual master, cleanliness, steadiness, self-control, renunciation of the objects of sense gratification, absence of false ego, the perception of the evil of birth, death, old age, and disease, detachment, freedom from entanglement with children, wife, home, and the rest, even-mindedness amid pleasant and unpleasant events, constant and unalloyed devotion to me, aspiring to live in a solitary place, a detachment from the general mass of people, accepting the importance of truth realization and philosophical search for the absolute truth. All these I declare to be knowledge, and besides this, whatever they may be is ignorance. Hari Bol.
Hi, Krishna, thank you.
Again, today Trinavarta. So Trinavarta is represent the vanity of the knowledge or dry logic. So we think, we consider as knowledge most of things as actually ignorance, according to description of this Bhagavata. So the importance of realization, philosophical search for absolute truth, this is called knowledge. So now, in order to understand the absolute truth, the satyam, so the fundamental starting point is the change of perception. What is the change of perception? What we experiencing right now here is another part of dream. That is a description of Bhagavatam. So again, here, regarding our desire, there is another description. So maybe let's read this one first, and then I'll take it. I'll go further. Yeah.
Kelly Mataji, please. Hare Krishna. Kelly Vrindavan Devidasi, Haribo. Kelly Vrindavan Devidasi, Hare Krishna.
Sorry, Hare Krishna, I was saying, I saw I was reading, sorry. My Lord, due to your illusory energy, all living beings in this material world have forgotten their real constitutional position, and out of ignorance, they are always desirous of material happiness in the form of society, friendship, and love. Therefore, please do not ask me to take some material benefits from you. But as a father, not waiting for the son's demand, does everything for the benefit of the son. Please bestow upon me whatever you think best for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Can ask others to read to Asha Mataji now? Yeah. Asha Mataji, can you unmute yourself, please? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Asha Mataji. Haribo. Yeah. Okay. Okay, Girish, Hare Krishna. Girish is there? Haribol, Girish Prabhu. Hitesh Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Haribol, yeah. Please can you read that? Yeah, Haribol.
My Lord, due to your illusory energy, all living beings in the material world have forgotten their real constitutional position, and out of ignorance they are always desirous of material happiness in the form of society, friendship, and love. Therefore, please do not ask me to take some material benefit from you, but as a father, not waiting for the son's demand, does everything for the benefit of the son, please bestow upon me whatever you think best for me.
Please continue for the purport. This is proper purport of regarding that verse. Yeah.
It is the duty.
It is the duty of the son to depend upon the father without asking anything from him. The good son has faith that the father knows best how to benefit him. Similarly, a pure devotee does not ask anything from the Lord for material benefit, nor does he ask anything for spiritual benefit.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Hare
Krishna.
Thank you. So here is very interesting description that Prabhupada explains that through the Purita Maharaj story. The Purita Maharaj, when he met Lord Vishnu, so Lord Vishnu, okay, I'll give you some boon, so let me know what you want. And then he said that I don't want anything. Why? Because if I want anything, I know this is a creation of my mind. So according to my mind, whether sometimes it's in ignorance, sometimes in what do you call Sattvagun, Rajagun, Tamagun, according to which mode where I'm in, I will ask different things. So this is a request of my three mode of nature. So I don't want this one. So because you know the situation of me better, so that you bestow whatever thing is best for me. So this is actually the mind of devotee. So this is another perception in our life. So through our life, we always encourage to have desire. So that somehow or other, we have a certain conception of success. So in order to achieve success, we are constantly, molding our life in a way that we achieve that success. So without desire, we cannot survive. This is how we educate it. But now we are molding in a way that we remove this desire, even spiritual desire also. Why? Because when we are situated where we are in now, at least we are gathering this Srimad Bhagavatam Sangha, the fact that we are gathered in Srimad Bhagavatam Sangha, which means Krishna, through form of friends or different relatives, they gave you information that there is a Sangha, which means indirectly Krishna is guiding you to join this Sangha or study Bhagavatam, which means try to recognize this as Krishna's instruction. It's not, if you look at in this way, our life, there is always something to learn from someone, that always you can recognize someone's instruction as a Krishna instruction. Even bird singing, even the sunrise, sometimes you get an intuition. If you deeply, if you always in a mood of service, in the mood of reading Bhagavatam, Bhagavata, it'll click to your mind. This is Krishna's message. So in this way, rather than mold our life through the desire, we mold in a way that we follow Krishna's instruction. So in the job also the same. Sometimes, yes, we have to choose our own job, but there is certain momentum which will lead you a certain job or lead you a certain work. So once you tune in, this is this type of consciousness, you will recognize that this is a Krishna instruction, or this is not, my mind is playing. So that I want you to practice your in day-to-day life, so that what is Krishna's desire, what is my desire. So in this way, by changing of this perception, we try to see through the Shastra, then slowly we realize that what is reality and then what is illusion. So once we know this one, then you are moving but not moving. Why? Because you're moving in the dream, but actually you are in the sleep. So you know the state where you are in. Many things are around you, but nothing is there. So sometimes there is disturbing element around you. But once you have a right consciousness, then disturbance won't be, there must be, you cannot get rid of disturbance, but you will not be affected by that disturbance. So as if nothing is there around you. So at the same time, people want to go to India, people want to go to spiritual world, but we are here in UK, you make yourself feel as good as you are in India, or as good as you are in Vaikuntha planet. So ultimately, Vaikuntha planet means Vaikuntha. Kunta means anxiety, Vai means without. The place where no anxiety is called Vaikuntha. Now, due to coronavirus and climate change, and people in UK, there is a survey saying that their level of anxiety tripled than last decades. So at the moment, the people in UK society, they're experiencing the highest anxiety than ever before. So why? Because they have a certain expectation, they have a certain perception of it in life. As long as they don't change that type of perception, the anxiety will not die down. But once you change that perception, that all anxiety is melted away like a snow in the hot sun. So Vaikuntha planet description is there, but rather than you trying to go to that Vaikuntha, where you are now, if you remove your own anxiety, then that experience will be as good as you experience in the Vaikuntha. When you practice that within this life, then actually you will experience Vaikuntha is right here and now. That's why this description is there. Again and again, don't try to make physical or geological transference to Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha is here and now, according to your perception. As long as you recognize reality and dream, reality and illusion, then you will see, you will experience all beautiful descriptions happens in the Shastra right here and now. That's why Prahlad Maharaj explains here in the 7th canto. This is, I think it's not Prahlad Maharaj, it's 15th chapter, I think the Yudhishthira Maharaj's story here. Okay, here it says, Bhava Advaitam, Kriya Advaitam, Dravya Advaitam, Tatatmanaha. So oneness of Bhava, oneness of Kriya, oneness of Dravya. So Bhava means existence, Kriya means activity, and then Dravya means the physical elements. If you recognize this oneness, what is the oneness? That is all Krishna's manifestation, Krishna's expansion. Then Bhartayan Svanu Bhuteha Trin Svapna Dhunute Munihi. So Trin Svapna, the three status, Jagrat, Svapna, Sushupti, deep sleep, and then dream state and waking state, all is part of your dream. So that if you recognize this one, then actually your true life will start. Okay, please read this translation.
Jamin Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Jamin.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, yeah,
After considering the oneness of existence activity and paraphernalia, and after realizing the self to be different from all actions and reactions, the mental speculator, Muni, according to his own realization, gives up the three states of wakefulness, dreaming, and sleep. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Hybro.
So here, again, it is difficult to recognize what we experience now as a dream. So I'll give you an example. There was a story of Janaka Maharaj. One time he was having a nap. So he just fell into a beautiful, let's say, spring nap. And then suddenly his sanctuary came to him that, Maharaj, please wake up. Neighbor country, neighbor kingdom attacking us. So we have to go to war. So he quickly got up and he got all armor together, and then he got his soldiers, and then he brought the general together, and then he went to the war to fight against another king from neighbor kingdom. But unfortunately, on that battle, he lost. So the next neighbor's king said to Janaka Maharaj, so you are defeated. So because you are king, at least I'll spare you your life. So you get out of this kingdom. So your kingdom is my kingdom now. So you get out of this kingdom. So Janaka Maharaj, all of a sudden, from the king, he became no one. So he went to village, and then the village people realized that the new king was very strict. So that if they helped Janaka Maharaj, they'll be in trouble. So no one give food, no one give nothing. So he was very much in distress. So that he went to finally next to the kingdom, so that at least he can beg some food. So there was one place there where they give free food. So like a prasadam distribution, like ISKCON devotee does. So he waited in the queue. So they were serving out khichdi. And then when his turn came, that all the food finished. And he was so hungry and he was totally depressed. And he was begging, is there some food left? And then the server saying that, when we cook the food at the bottom, sometimes you get some burned part at the bottom, you get stuck. So that that bottom bit is available. So if you want to eat, you can have this one. If you cannot serve to the normal people, so at least if you want to have this one, you can have it. So Janaka Maharaj was so hungry, so that, okay, let me have that one. So he had that. So he got somehow he got a bowl, and then he put that food. When he was just about it, you know what happened? There was a vulture came, and he trying to grab the the bowl. So that unfortunately, whatever food was on the bowl was spilled to the mud. So he couldn't eat even that small part of food. And then he is screaming, oh no. Then all of a sudden, Maharaj, wake up. It was all dream. And then because the God, he saw the Janaka Maharaj was while sleeping, he's saying, no, he must be some trouble. So he went inside. And then when Maharaj was woken up, he was so stunned by so true what he experienced in his dream. I heard this story from YouTube, so that they were saying in the Hindi. I don't know, I remember correctly, he's saying that they're speaking with the Hindi together. They're saying that Maharaj is saying, Vo sachi ya ye sachi. Is that true or is this true? Is it the correct pronunciation? Anyone speak Hindi?
Yes, Prabhuji, it's right. Yeah,
is it right?
correct.
Yeah. So, Vo sachi ya ye sachi. Is that true or this is true? So since then, Janaka Maharaj doesn't say anything but this. So that all the ministers came. So Maharaj became funny. So all ministers came, and then, oh, Maharaj, what happened? And then what he's saying is, Vo sachi ya ye sachi. this cure doesn't go. This disease doesn't go. And then eventually they brought the Janaka Maharaj's wife. So you say something. So Maharaj saying something strange. And the wife came. All Maharaj saying is that Vo Sachi, Ya Ye Sachi. So then the wife cannot do anything. All Maharaj is saying is that, is this true or is that true? So now, the rumor goes around. So that rumor, went to the what they call all the kingdom. And then at that time, Ashtabakra Muni, who is Ashta, 8 bend in the body. So externally, he's very ugly looking. So he heard, but he's a realized soul. So, I think I need to help him. So he went inside the kingdom and he met Maharaj. So, Maharaj, kaise hai? And then Maharaj said, Wo sachi, ya ye sachi. So then Astapakra, because he gets transcendental knowledge, so he knows what's happening. So he asked a question to Janaka Maharaj. When you are in the dream, when you are in distress, when you are in hungry, when you are in terrible situation, at that time, these palace or these servant was there in your dream or not? And the Maharaj says, no, he wasn't there. Now, you are in this palace. Within this palace, that depression you had in the dream, the khichuri, your bowl, is there or not? He says, no, it's not there. So then, let me tell you, na bo sachi, na ye sachi. Is it Hindi? Is it true? Is it correct Hindi?
Correct, very much.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So, Asabakra Muni is saying that that is not true. This is not true either. Tum hi sachi. Only you are the true. The person who are aware of it, they're only true. So this is the story which I heard through the what you call YouTube. So that ultimately the experience of the soul, the witness as a soul, there is only truth. So this is the teaching what Bhagavatam has. So now 11 canto. Oh, time is up. Okay. Yeah. So let me read this verse and then we finish. So Yadidam Manasa Vacha Chakshulvyan Saravana Adivi Nashivaram Griya Manam Cha Biti Maya Manomayam. Krishna says Arjuna. The Uddhava in the 11th canto. So that Yadidam, in this material world, we perceive things through the Manasa, mind, word, Chakshul, the eyes, and then the Shravana, by hearing and all other senses. Griyamanam, we perceive all these things, but all of them are Nashvaram. There is no substance to it. And then Bitti, Maya, Manomayam. This is all Maya, either Maya or Manomaya. So please read translation.
Sipara Mataji, can you unmute yourself? Haribol. Sipara Mataji, Hare Krishna. Okay, Prabhu, Haribol.
Hello?
Yeah, please read.
Yeah, can you read the translation?
My dear Uddhava, the material universe that you perceive through your mind, speech, eyes, ears, and other senses is the illusory creation that one imagines to be real due to the influence of Maya. In fact, you should know that all of the objects of the material senses are temporary.
Thank you.
So this is a very significant statement. So that when you go to temple, we perceive the deity through our eyes. We hear kirtan through our ears. We interact with the devotees But Krishna says to Uddhava, whatever we perceive through your senses, your mind, and your words is all Maya. Then let us think then, another homework, then how should we relate to this material world? Not only that, how we should relate to the deities. The deity, can we say that also Maya? How we relate to this deity? We have pictures in the room. In the picture already we have Krishna pictures. So that is that Maya? Why Krishna says everything perceived through our senses, our minds is all Maya. So we'll discuss this further the next class, so that we understand Satam Param Dhimai a bit more. And then after that, I think by the next time, by the next week class, we'll finish the first verse of first chapter. Then after that, we'll move a bit faster. So we have a groundwork done so that we'll move faster. So we'll finish chapter 1 soon, and then we'll speed up a little bit. I'm sure you want to go forward quickly, I know, but we need to do proper groundwork, then we can build up very high. Okay, thank you. So if there are any questions.
We all are happy. We all are happy, Patanjali Muni Prabhu, the way you're explaining, I'm sure everyone is getting more enlightened with the, as you say, that without the base, there is no point of just moving forward, because we need to know the base first. If the base is strong, then everything will remain there.
Okay, thank you for your understanding. Yes.
Yeah, so thank you. Patanjali Muni Prabhu, I would like to let Palika Mataji say a couple of words for you. Just give me 1 second about the class. Yeah, please. Hi, bro. Palika Mataji.
I don't know why Sangeeta is saying this, but I'm really grateful for you giving us this wonderful knowledge, and please enlighten us. As I was listening to you, I'm feeling I'm so dark. I'm just completely in darkness. So I need your light, Patanjali Muni Prabhu's light, like sunlight. I heard, so one of the devotee was giving that, somebody was in darkness and saying, oh, there is a sunshine. And that person is in so darkness, he can't see the sign. Then he break the wall and the light come through. And then because he was so much dark and the light came and sort of blinded him even more. Position is like that. So I'm so blind. So I can take only a little bit at a time, and with your mercy, maybe one day I will get some in my heart. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Palika Mataji. Thank you, Patanjali Muni Prabhu. Does anyone would like to say, comment, or question anything? Please raise your hand, or just let me know, please.
Hare Krishna.
Oh, thank you, Julie Mataji.
Thank you for a lovely class. Prabhuji, I just wondered what you make of the dream you had last night. What impression did you take to bed beforehand about, because I'm thinking of a story about a king who died, and he left both arms out in the coffin, and that the meaning was to say, look, I came barehanded and I'm going barehanded. I'm going with nothing. So I just wondered if that connects with that story.
I don't know, just he happened. My dream is not that deep, not that philosophical, but just happened. Just yesterday morning, just it's so real. So still I remember. So I don't know why I have that kind of dream. Anyway, so I'm glad that other people also had that kind of dream. So I'm not, it's not only me.
They do, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
but for me, it was only one arm. I think it was the right arm or something. So that's not one arm put it together.
You were one arm, but yeah. You weren't the king, that's why.
Very well said, Julie Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think Pramila Mataji would like to say something. She unmuted herself. Yeah, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I wanted to ask, is there a reason why we are focusing every week on a story of a demon rather than any other topics?
Because Krishna dealt demon individually and differently. That's a very good question, Mataji. Because each time when Krishna killed the demon, he killed a different way. For example, Putana, he sucked the life air, and the cart demon, Krishna kicked with the feet, and then Trinavarta, Krishna strangled by neck. So in this way, we all have individual relationship with Krishna. So although it looks like demon, but they have a specific relationship with Krishna. So I want all of you find your own unique experience with Krishna and the relationship with Krishna. So ultimately, you know, when we watch the movie or drama, there is a main character. In Krishna's eyes, you are the main character. Krishna has millions of channels, but Krishna, it's you that Krishna sees as main character. So that what kind of performance in your life you want to present to Krishna. I like to all of you think in that way. You are not extras. You are not a second character. You are the main character for Krishna. As all demon has individual relationship, unique relationship, and Krishna dealt individually in unique way. So in this way, Krishna put us in a situation where everybody is unique and everybody is special. So like, you know, the GPS. So we put a certain destination. Each car has their own destination. Each car has relationship with the satellite, the GPS, in their own way. So we also, our own way of journey back to Krishna. So you recognize what you can offer to Krishna is very unique. It looks like every chant, everybody eating prasadam, it looks like all the same. Everybody wearing sari when you go to temple or whatever, everybody putting tilak. Looks like very, very similar, very, very uncommon, general. But in Krishna's eyes, it's not. You are the special one, you are the unique one. So in this way, each demon story, while we are looking at what they are teaching us. Today, Trinavarsha taught us danger of the knowledge we acquire. It leads to just nothing but vanity. What is the use of requiring that kind of knowledge? And also dry argument. Trinavarsha represents dry argument. So what is the use of that dry argument? What's the use of you know better than me, or I know better than you? What is the use of this kind of thinking? So in this way, we go through every single class. By going through unique the story of demon, and that there is certain learning point. So that in order to get that learning point and put into our day-to-day life practice. So that's why I told you that demon can appear within our own life also. Why? Because Bhagavatam is Krishna. Krishna is with us. So if the Krishna is with us, then naturally another form of servant, who is there? Demon also with us also. So demon's role is taking us away from the Krishna, but our devotee role is that taking us close to Krishna. So there is a transcendental tug of war. So that this tug of war, Krishna enjoys it. Can you imagine? Real hero of Mahabharata is, in my eyes, Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana. Without them, Dhritarashtra, Duryodhana, and Karna, without them, there is no story to it. Because they are all great king. So if all the great king rule the kingdom nicely, everything goes well, where is the story? So in this way, whatever difficulties we have, that makes us close to Krishna, ultimately. Comfortable situation, we all want. We all want the comfort. We all want our welfare in our life. But that comfort and then good situation, it may not that beneficial than the trouble in our life. So in this way, Bhagavad Gita starts with on the battleground. So day-to-day life, we got a certain battle in our life. So in order to win that battle, we need to have some form of information, secret, so that secret actually demons offering to us.
Bottom line,
Bottom line, all glories to Kamsa Prabhu.
Yes. Without Kamsa, there is no Krishna. Krishna will not come down without Kamsa. Isn't it? So Kamsa invite Krishna to right to his. Without Kamsa, there is no Vrindavan Lila. All glories to Kamsa.
Oh, Haribol. That's amazing. That is looking really, really very enlightening to see in different perspectives.